Nintendo Switch 2 has now been out for over 6 months, and I feel like since I did an unboxing and even told my pre-order nightmare story, I should tell you guys if the Nintendo Switch 2 is worth it 6 months later, in my personal opinion. And I'll tell you what you should get if you do get a Switch 2, what you shouldn't get if you get a Switch 2, and all the things in between. Now, before I do this, I'm going to tell you guys what I didn't get that Nintendo heavily advertised. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I was not going to pay a dime for that game. If you want to call it a game, it's not a game. It's literally an instruction manual that should have come with the Switch 2. That's the one thing I will say that I'm very salty about still. Why the hell would you pay for that? I don't get it. Like, I could see it being useful for, like, developers, but unless you're, like, really into, like, wanting to know all the tech secrets that the Switch 2 holds, I wouldn't recommend Welcome Tour. Even though it's just like $10, that's still $10 too much. So I will not be talking about Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and I also will not be talking about Drag X Drive. Not because I thought that looked bad, it's because I don't think it's for me. And when I saw like clips of people actually playing it and doing this with the Joy-Con 2s, I was like, that looks tiring, and it looks like it would get very frustrating for me really quick. So maybe I'm gonna pass on that. And then there are several Switch 2 editions that I have not played. So, yeah. I also have not played Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment yet. I did not get that on launch. I'm trying to be a little bit better with when it comes to like buying new games right now. So, I did not get Age of Imprisonment, so I cannot talk about that. And I also will not be talking about Metroid Prime 4 because although I have the Switch 1 copy, I do not have the upgrade for it yet, so I cannot speak on that. Anyways, let's talk about first of all the basic stuff. Starting with this, it still feels good. It still feels a lot better than the Joy-Con 1 sliding in. The snapping out and snapping in still feels really good. It feels like a big improvement over the Switch 1's sliding. And while we're talking about the Joy-Con 2s and snapping, let's talk about my thoughts on the grip. It feels almost identical to the Switch 1 grip. I'm not going to lie. This feels almost identical. Just the Joy-Con buttons are a little higher. This does feel fine though. It feels perfectly fine. I think maybe it feels slightly better because of the Joy-Con size change and my hands being as big as they are. But it still feels kind of similar to the Joy-Con 1 grip. So if you were hoping for it to feel a lot different and a lot better, it really doesn't. But I did have it for like the first month and used it exclusively for the Switch 2. And I will say it does the job perfectly well. So, yeah. The mouse controls. So I played 2 games with mouse controls with these babies. And I will say I'm not a fan yet. I feel like it'll grow on me, but I will say there are 2 games I tried playing with the Joy-Con 2 mouse mode. The first one was Fortnite, and my thing is, I play Fortnite on PC, and so I thought that mouse mode on Switch 2, that's dope, that's awesome. However, one of the biggest problems I kind of had with the Switch 2 so far was that my internet was kind of garbo with it. Which is weird because my internet's usually fine for most stuff, but for some reason with the Switch 2, my internet just isn't great. And I don't have like an Ethernet port around me. But I did play a few rounds of Fortnite when they dropped an update so that you could use mouse mode. And I will say, I did kind of enjoy it, but the thing that killed my enjoyment was mainly just my internet. Besides that, it was really good. We actually got the dub as a squad, by the way. That being said, because Fortnite's file size was so big, I had to uninstall it, so I really haven't played Fortnite with it since. And the other game I played with this was Cyberpunk 2077, which I have no gameplay to show you because I did end up trading it in. Mainly because of the gameplay nature of the game itself. For me personally, this is just a personal thing. I feel like it'd be better for me to play that on PC than it would be to play it on with a controller on Switch. That's just me. I feel like it'd be a lot easier to get into. I did not find much enjoyment with the button layout that they had for it. Like, they wanted you to press B, but they wanted it to be down. So you had to be down, you had to press B at the same time, and it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to do. So I did not find that much. I did not find much enjoyment in playing Cyberpunk, if I'm being honest. I did not test the gyro controls on it because I'm not a big fan of gyro. I can kind of skip it when I want to. Sometimes it's cool, but for the most part, I just don't really vibe with it. But, to each their own, maybe you would enjoy it. And no, it's not that Cyberpunk. I don't think Cyberpunk's a bad game. I think actually that it's very promising from what I did play of it. I just think that it's not for me for the Switch 2. If I get it, I'm gonna get it on Steam on PC. The screen. So, portably is where you could tell for me in particular what games look good and bad. I will say Xenoblade Chronicles 2 suffers so much. It looks awful on this thing. It performs just fine, but it looks disgusting. Which is a shame because the Xenoblade Chronicles games look so good. So to see 2 look so bad is just kind of a shame. And the thing is I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as well on this, and Definitive Edition, and X Definitive Edition, and even 1 Definitive Edition, and they all looked good. It's just 2 that looked kind of garbo. So I think personally, Nintendo, if you're listening for whatever reason, I do think you should get an upgrade patch for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and you might as well do 3 and the other ones as well anyways, because why not? I mean, you did X Definitive Edition. You clearly have plans on continuing the series in a really interesting direction. I just think that an upgrade patch or maybe a Switch 2 edition, even though I don't think that's necessary for 2 or 3. If you want to go that route, you can, but, it is what it is. And the only other downside I gotta say when it comes to it in handheld mode is the battery life can be good or it can be atrocious. Playing Stardew Valley, I got like 6 hours out of it. Playing Kirby Air Riders, I got less than 2. So it really depends on the game for sure. But the fact that the battery drains so quick, I feel like sometimes it's worse than the Switch 1's battery life. So, yeah, if you get this, I really recommend you probably mainly use it docked. So, yeah, at least depending on the game. If it's a game that's, like, not that bad, then, yeah, fine. Now, accessory-wise, I got this baby a month into it. The Switch 1 Pro controller works just fine with this, but I gotta say, this baby feels so good, and being able to map buttons to the back of these was also really good, especially in Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's just so good, and you can change it with any game. I do highly recommend getting this if you do get a Switch 2. It is so worth it. It's the nicest feeling controller I've felt since the DualSense controller for the PS5. That's how good this thing feels. So, highly recommend it. Just like the stick too, it's just so smooth. And before we get into the games and my experience with other games and stuff, I want to talk about Game Chat real quick. I'm shocked because Game Chat actually is pretty effective and good. I'm really surprised on what it was able to filter out and what not, and how the quality it sounded. It was very shocking. My friends and I that did get a Switch 2, we were playing Mario Kart World, but we didn't want to use Discord. We wanted to test out Game Chat. And we did, and we were all kind of shocked on how good it was. So, yeah, it advertised that whatever it advertised, the weird blocking out of sounds and stuff, it does that. It was kind of freaky, honestly. I just wasn't expecting it. Okay, there is one more notable Switch 2 thing that was highly pushed that I did not talk about, and that's the camera, because I don't plan to get the camera. I just don't think I'll need it. I don't want it. I don't think it's needed. You're good. The only reason you would need it would be really for, and if I were to really think, would be for Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition, because that comes with the Bowser Live mode, and that heavily features like the camera and stuff. So Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the camera. All right, now I want to go with the experience of some games. I want to start Mario Kart World. I have beef with this game. This game was so much fun for like the first 2 weeks, and then it got dull because the online sucks. It is a notoriously bad online. And the fact that you can't do 3-lap races, there are just so many issues that this game had that are just now being addressed that should have been in the game at launch. Custom rules, custom items, that should have been a thing at launch. Anything that was an add-on to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe should have been in this. We should have got 200cc. I don't even think that's in the game. Last time I checked, it wasn't. This game is unfinished and overpriced, and I am angry that it won Racing Game of the Year, even though Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is absolutely a finished game and was so much fun and is still so much fun and is still adding content, which, where's the extra content for this? I mean, goddamn. Am I gonna get my money's worth with this? I highly recommend, if you do not have a Switch 2 and you think of getting one, if you need Mario Kart World, try to get the bundle. As of the state of this game is now, as of the filming this on December 16th, 2025, this game is not worth the money that they thought it was. I don't know why they thought this game was going to be worth $80. It baffles me. It baffles me that they thought this was going to be worth more than Donkey Kong Bonanza, but okay. So yeah, that was Mario Kart World. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It is fun, but at the same time, I just don't have an urge to go back to it right now. Sorry. The other racing options on Switch 2 are just better than Mario Kart World, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's. So I just really hope they fix the issues, because I want to like this game. I want to like this game again. I liked it when it came out. I don't like it, though, right now. So hopefully they can fix the issues that it has. So, yeah. Like I said, if you get the bundle, then it's worth it. But if you're going to get a physical, or get it digital separate, don't bother unless it's on sale ever for some reason. Now I want to talk about Street Fighter 6, specifically my experience with game key cards, because I wanted one game key card game. You know how long this took me to download? Because the way key cards work, for those who don't know, is it has a one-time download thing where you have to download the game onto your console. And then it only plays the game if you have the thing in. And I have it in my Switch 2 carrying case. So it's not in here. But basically, it's a cartridge, and you put it in, and it works like a cartridge, but essentially it's still digital. It's pretty much just the key to being able to play it, and I wanted to test it. And you have to do a one-time full download of the game. It took 7 hours to download the game. I was sitting on my butt for 7 hours while some of my other friends were playing this online, and I was just listening to them having fun in Discord, and I just had to sit there and wait. I will say I don't regret purchasing this game. I do really think Street Fighter 6 is fun. But I will say, game key cards, that was an awful experience. I don't think I'll ever get a game key card again. So, Pokopia, I ain't getting you. You kind of freaked me out anyways. Weird Ditto thing shaped as a human freaks me out for some reason. I don't like it. Okay, next I have to talk about this too. Donkey Kong Bonanza was my game of the year. I voted for Donkey Kong Bonanza for my game of the year with the Game Awards, knowing it was going to lose. I knew this was going to lose to Expedition 33 because I'd heard nothing but good things. I thought it looked great when they first showed it off, when the first trailer came out, and I was like, that's going to win Game of the Year if it comes out. And it did, and I'm happy for it. Honestly, I wasn't upset. I was a little hopeful that it would, just because of how great this game is. It's like my top 5 favorite games of all time, if I'm being real. I'm not sure how it competes with Donkey Kong Country 2 quite yet. I'm still debating that. I gotta make like a new top 5 video games of all time list, but this is definitely up there for sure. You have to get this if you get a Switch 2. You really do. You really, really do. Then naturally, I also wanted to get a Switch 2 edition game physical, and I got Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 edition. Also really great game, but like I said, this is a Switch 2 edition game. If you have a Switch 1, you can play the Switch 1 version. I have heard, obviously, the Switch 2 edition runs much better, but it's up to you depending on which version of the game you want. So, it's the same game, but you don't need a Switch 2 if you want to play Legend ZA because there is a Switch 1 version of it. And the last game I want to talk about is this Kirby Air Riders. My childhood remade, given a sequel and an epic adventure mode and such good tracks. I can't recommend this game enough. You can play as DDD. That's all you need to play as King DDD. He's my boy. I love my boy DDD. Hey guys, Future Brandon here, and I just wanted to add a couple things because I really thought I talked about these two games, but editing this, I realized I didn't. So I want to quickly touch on two games that I played also, that were just Switch 1 games. Well, one is the Switch 2 edition of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just going to be showing Breath of the Wild footage because why not? So I will say, the upgrade for it, I feel, for the most part, is worth it. Like, Breath of the Wild always looked good. It didn't look fantastic, but now it looks way better. In fact, I think it looks more like how it should have looked when it first came out, and it runs so much better. Like, you go to Korok Forest, where it used to be super laggy, and now it's just perfectly fine, which is great, and it looks much, much better. It really does. In a way, I do feel like they should have just done an upgrade patch for it, but whatever. I guess getting some cool extra sort of hints on where things are and also some extra lore is kind of cool with the app, but at the same time, like, what if Nintendo shuts down that app service? Then what's the point of having the Switch 2 edition? I'm just saying, besides the higher graphics and stuff. Besides that, I definitely think it's really good. And yeah, I would recommend getting the upgrade patch if you have the game already. And then the other one I want to talk about was Pokemon Scarlet. Now, this one got a free upgrade. Some of the Switch 1 games got free Switch 2 upgrades. And I think that's great that they did it with some of the games that were either like very, very minor upgrades or ones that absolutely needed an upgrade. But, they just felt like it'd be like, ew, this would be even shittier if we charged for this one. And I'm talking specifically about Pokemon Scarlet here because Pokemon Scarlet was bad. It was not. It did. You could go to this lake. I forgot what it's called, but it's a really pretty lake, and I love the music there. But you'd be going like 5 frames a second, and it really just was shocking when I went there after I got my Switch 2 and I popped it in. I downloaded the upgrade patch, and it ran perfectly smooth, like no lag at all. I was so shocked, and it looks so much better. That being said, sometimes how a developer will sometimes fix an issue in a game, but then it'll just cause other issues to show its face. Well, I notice a lot more pop-in now when it comes to Pokemon showing up. They just kind of pop in. It's more noticeable now that the frames have been fixed. Now the pop-up is more noticeable, but whether that's a good thing or bad thing is up to the person. I heard it's good for shiny hunting, so I guess there's that. But for me, it's just more distracting, if anything. I think that's also a problem that needs to be fixed. But I think they want to move on to Gen 10 pretty soon, so they're probably not even gonna go back and fix that. So yeah, unfortunately, that is what it is. Hate to say that, but yeah. Okay, just thought I'd talk about those two games really quick because I can't believe I didn't talk about them, really. Okay, so I talked about the console. I talked about the games, the accessory, an accessory, and my thoughts on some of the games and my experience with game key cards, Switch 2 editions. Do I recommend the Switch 2? Unless you're a die-hard Donkey Kong or Kirby fan, and you need to play Donkey Kong Bonanza or Kirby Air Riders, I honestly recommend you wait about 6 months to a year. Because within this next 6 months, I believe Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting a Switch 2 edition. Stardew Valley's getting a Switch 2 edition, which it looks really cool. And if you're in America, it's free. It's a free Switch 2 edition, which is interesting. And also, who knows what other games are going to come out in the next 6 months to a year. But as it is now, I can't really definitively, honestly, fully with my chest say yes because of how little exclusives are currently on it. But I guarantee you, in 6 months to a year, I can more easily say yes. But as it is now, as the state of Mario Kart World is, as in the state of just in general how Nintendo is right now, I just feel like just wait. Just wait on it. Do I regret my purchase? No, because I'm a big Donkey Kong fan, and if I got the ending of Bonanza spoiled, if I got that ending spoiled for me, oh my gosh, I would have been furious. But yeah, definitely I'll say this. If you get a Switch 2, get these two. Get these two games. You need them. This for your fix of single-player adventure, and this for your fix of racing/party game. I cannot recommend these games enough. And yeah. One thing there is to note, though, is that if you are a Pokemon fan, I do recommend you get a Switch 2 sooner than later because of the fact that they said starting after Legends EA, they're only going to put new Pokemon games on the Switch 2. They're very clear about that. So if you want any more Pokemon games, you're going to have to get a Switch 2. So, but like if you're a Metroid fan, you're good for a while. I'm sure it's going to be a minute till the next Metroid game. Prime 4 just came out. They're probably going to do another 2D one, then they'll probably do Prime 5. Who knows what they're going to do, honestly. But yeah, I hope this video helped some of you guys make a decision if you wanted to get a Switch 2 now or if you want to wait. It's really, at the end of the day, everyone's different in their taste in video games, and you know, I'm a big Nintendo fan, so of course I was going to get this day one. But I know a lot of people who get a Switch or a Switch 2 aren't diehard Nintendo fans, but like some of the games. So yeah, it's understandable why people would not get it on launch. Because that's just the reality of game consoles in general. Like, even the PlayStation 5 at launch really didn't have many titles come out on that weren't also on the PlayStation 4. So, the problem with getting a new console at launch is that you have very limited exclusives, or like, not many. I also just don't think that the mouse mode is as hype as they made it out to be. So, yeah. But maybe mouse mode will grow on me. I think maybe I just need the right accessory and they need to just map out the buttons a little better. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of the Switch 2 so far? Do you agree with what I said about maybe waiting 6 months to a year? Do you think that it's worth getting now? And why do you think? Do you think you should just avoid it like the plague? Which I'm sure a large majority of people are going to say. I don't think that. I think maybe you should get one eventually, but just not now. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell when you do. And yeah, so long and good night.